It's cold outside. It's early in the morning. Early in the morning.
And here goes our series. When will I get married? Or when will you get married? And today we're going to be talking about conflict. Now, I know everyone is like, conflict? We don't have conflict in our marriage. We don't have disagreements in our marriage. Like, this is us. I can get married today or tomorrow because I know how to handle conflict. That's how everyone is thinking at the moment. However, for those who aren't experienced with conflict, here is a couple steps I feel like. Here are a couple steps I feel like will be beneficial for you alone. Not just for your relationship, but for you by yourself. So, how do you handle your disagreements? Do you, on a scale of 1 to 10, do you believe that you handle your disagreements well? Do you believe that anyone, if you choose 5 people to have a disagreement with, you feel like with all 5 people that you would be okay to settle the disagreement? For example, do you yell when you that upset? Do you just you just so upset that no one can calm you down? Do you criticize? Do you belittle someone and you're like, that's why you so and that, and that's why this and third, and if you had so and so, then you would have this that and third? Are you that type of person? Do you give the silent treatment? Now that's me. I think if I could have choose between the first 3 that I spoke about, which is yell, criticizing / belittle, or give the silent treatment, I believe I was 33% of all. It was so bad. I'm so glad that I changed my life around. Like, I'm doing my hardest not to yell, even at my dog. Now, people who don't have dogs, y'all can't really say, well, why is she treating her animal like that? When you have a dog, they're similar to a child. Sometimes you have to raise your voice so that they can understand that you are being serious. With that being said, I've learned that I don't have to yell. All I have to do is state what I need. And if I have to repeat myself 2-3 times, I'm going to ask her, why am I repeating myself to you? Like, this is what I'm asking of you. Why aren't you doing it? Anyway, are you always speaking negatively to everyone around you or anyone around you? Are you always like negativity? People notices negativity. Little do you know, like, you might think that you just think in your mind, you just thinking how you feel, but not all the time that no one is asking for your opinion. And I have also learned that when my friends come to me and they're asking for my advice, or they're just coming to me and they want to release how they feeling on the inside, sometimes I don't say nothing. Sometimes I listen and then I ask them, well, do you want my advice? How do you feel about receiving my advice? And then I'll proceed with giving them my advice. However, if they're not asking for my opinion, I'm not going to give them my opinion just because sometimes people are not asking for it. So, or do you hold grudges? Are you the type of person that no matter what's going on, no matter how much this person say sorry, no matter how much blessings that you receive within the year, you're still holding madness from 10 years ago? Like, are you that type of person? So, are you patient? Are you forgiving? Are you the type of person that can forgive people when they have done anything wrong to you? That is all under conflict. And I need other people to understand that. So I apologize you all. For my video being a little blurry. I think I was able to fix that now. So just moving on. So, are you walking in love and forgiveness? Are you the type of person, if someone does commit any wrong to you, are you able to handle that with love? Are you able to say, you know what? I mean, even if it doesn't happen right away when the offense happened to you, are you able to really take a look, think about it, step back and say, you know what? That's all right. and hold no madness and hold no grief. Now, you can keep in your mind, okay, this is how this person treated me. However, I'm not going to treat that person the same way they treated me. However, I know how far to go with that person. I know how far to allow that person to come back in my life. Now, that's totally different than having discernment and just being straight off, I don't care about you. You know, having discernment, you still treat people with respect and you still treat people with love. Regardless, if you see that person on the side of the road, I know there's many other individuals that's like, I don't care if my enemy was on the side of the road, I'm not picking them up, I'm not giving them any water, I'm not giving them a spare tire, I'm not doing anything, I'm not even calling the police. You know, and that's the thing. It's just like, when you think like that, imagine if you're on the side of the road. Would that the same person say the same about you? And that's another thing that some people just have to realize. Like, what would you do if you were in that situation? If you were in that situation, how would you want someone to treat you? And so, like I said, walking in love and forgiveness, like learning to forgive. And so, excuse me, for the married couples, or people in relationships, communicating your progress of how you can get better. Now, if you and your mate got into an argument, into any disagreement, I'm sure the disagreement or the argument that you all have does not deserve to be lived on for a week. Now, I can, there are some exclusions. However, because your spouse didn't take out the trash, because your spouse or your mate left up the toilet seat, because they forgot to put the dishes up. Now, sometimes it could be aggravating when it is repetitive. However, speaking love. Okay, babe, do you mind putting the dishes up when you're finished? Babe, do you mind taking out the trash? Babe, do you mind? Oh, hun, do you mind? I appreciate. And also appreciate that person once they do it. Just because you're upset because you came home and there was dishes in the sink, you're like, well, why the dishes in the sink? Oh, not a matter of fact, we're gonna speak like if you are learning how to act in love. Now you're like, you come home and you see dishes in the sink. Hey babe, do you mind putting the dishes up? Soon as he or she put the dishes up, thank you. Give them a kiss. And that's appreciation. It's not the fact that, oh, why do I have to do this? Why didn't he just put the dishes up? Why didn't she just clean up the house? If you sit here and you go question to question to question about why somebody didn't do something, you will always be unhappy. And that's what I had to realize. Like, you think that a lot of stuff is common sense. Well, common sense will tell that person that they should have did this. No, everything is not common sense. You think that what you're thinking about today, that person is thinking about today? No, it doesn't work like that. Sometimes you have to communicate what you feel, communicate what you want, and there's a way to, and like how that famous phrase says, is not what you say, is how you say it. So say what you have to say. Just say it nicely. Say it respectfully. Say it the way how you would want it to be said to you. You don't want nobody just coming to yell at you and telling you what it is that needs to be done that you need to do. So, and you guys, that I always pull up I'm pulling out a Bible verse for all of my episodes. So, I'm sorry I don't have my Bible, because I have two Bibles. I have one in my car and I have one at my job. And so I don't feel like going to get to the one in my car, so I have my phone. So sorry, you guys. And so the verse that I'm going to choose is going to be 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter. And it does start at the 4th verse that I like. It says, love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. That goes to what we were speaking about, respect. Oh, my phone went. Oh, here we go. It is not self-seeking. Now, on my previous episode, I spoke about serving others. Love is not self-seeking. You're not like, or what I spoke about earlier, when you're like, well, he or she ain't doing that. He or she, why they just didn't do this? And, no, love is not self-seeking. You're not expecting this person to devote their entire life to you. No, Jesus devoted his entire life to you. You cannot expect a human being to devote their entire life to you, which is sacrifice any and everything that they do on their own free time. No, I'm just sorry. You need to find Jesus Christ if you looking for unconditional love, to the point that it's whatever you do, you need to find Jesus. Okay, so back to the verse. It is not easily angered. Now that's what this episode is all about. You're not easily angered, you're not easily angered. You're not allowing something so small to drive you so insane that you just cursing anyone out, you yelling at everybody, you kicking a dog, like how they say slapping the cat. Kicking a dog and slapping the cat, like you just doing too much. Like, why are you so mad? Why are you so mad? Okay. And it keeps no records of wrongs, which goes back to forgiveness. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. When it comes to relationship, I believe that part of the verse is spitefulness. Like, why are you being so spiteful? Why are you keeping wrongs from 3 months ago, from 2 weeks ago? I just feel like if you're upset, you need to speak about how you feel right then. If something is not pleasing you, you need to speak about it right then. Now, granted, there is a time and a place for everything, and not all the time you need to voice your frustrations or voice your ideas or voice how you feel. Sometimes you need to take a step back and think about it. Am I really upset, and why am I upset? What triggered me to be this upset? And if you find out what triggered you to become this upset, you'll be able to get down to the bottom of it without even having to approach your mate, approach your spouse. Because sometimes not everybody be feeling like that. Like, I know, for instance, for me, I am really not a conflict person. I have never, ever been a conflict person because I'm the only child. So I had to learn how to settle things on my own. And then my mom, she worked and everything. So, like, you just have to pick and choose what you carry to people in general. You just have to find out what you're mad about. Is it really worth taking to someone's attention? It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. It always protects. No matter how mad you're at your mate, your spouse, your child, your dog, you still want to protect them. You're still going to say, if my dog pooped on my floor 5 minutes ago and someone comes and kick my dog, this is, but y'all get my point. I'm going to still protect my dog. And that goes for your spouse. If your spouse made you so upset, just so upset, and then here come your family members, I don't know why you just don't get rid of them. I don't know why. Can you stay out my business, please? Now, see, I'm not type of person. In my head, I may be thinking this, but I'm not gonna actually verbalize it because I'm learning how to be more positive when I speak. So therefore, I will speak positively about my spouse. Oh yeah, well, I believe that he's doing fine. We all have our issues. We all have our problems, and shut it down and keep it moving. Like, I don't owe anyone any explanation. I don't have to say anything to y'all about what we went through, how we got through it, or whatever. Now, I may speak about it as a testimony one day, but for you or any family members or friends to intervene on my behalf and try to pick and choose when I should be talking to who I want to talk to, it doesn't work that way. I also like love never fails. I think that one is real powerful. Love never fails. I didn't talk about the always hopes and always perseveres, but I believe that ties in with the love never fails, because you will always have high hopes about your love. You should always have high hopes, like, even if it's to the point that y'all really cannot stand each other, like, If y'all really can't stand each other, that's a different story. But if y'all to the point that y'all still have love for one another, what's wrong with counseling? Now, I understand some people do not want to take counseling because they don't want people in their business and everything like that. But what do you have to lose? You think this counselor is really about to take your business and distribute it in the streets? What do you have to lose? Like, what do you think that people are going to do to you when you don't want to go to counseling? Like, it takes maybe an hour out of your day. You spend an hour out of your day shopping, video games, hanging with friends, hanging wherever you're supposed to be, where you're not even supposed to be. Like, you can't take an hour out of your day to fix communication. Like, okay, you may handle situations by yourself, but I know there was one particular time in your life where you actually had to went to someone. And that's basically what counseling is. No one is here to judge you. So anyway, and that's why I feel like love never fails, because you won't allow your love to fail if you really love someone. You will, like I said, forgiveness. You will forgive that person. In the Bible, it states that you're supposed to forgive someone 70 times 7. Do you know how many times that is? That's a 490 times. That is a lot of times to forgive someone who is just like, you're not getting it. Why do I have to keep forgiving you? Now, granted, as I stated, there's a difference between forgiving and discernment. Now, you know, there's definitely a difference, and that's up to you to decide. However, moving on, let's see. So, also, I have learned since I've been on my journey, my spiritual journey. There's a book that I actually love, and I believe that every couple, every person, I believe should read it, because it helps identify yourself. It helps identify the person you're with and others around you. And it's called 5 Love Languages, and it's by Gary Chapman. I realized my top 5, because there is 5 different love languages that an individual may have, and one may overpower another. So you have words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, act of service, and gifts. What y'all think mine is? I'm just kidding. So my top 3, I have 2 that's a tied, but my top 3, my first one is words of affirmation. I love me some words of affirmation now. Call me boo, call me baby, call me honey. I'm proud of you. I love you. I miss you. All those things melt my heart. The second one is physical touch. Oh, Lord. I don't know why that wasn't the first one, but I be needing some words of affirmation majority of the time than I need physical touch. So, but the second is physical touch. I love me some touching, honey. My third is active service. Now, my physical touch and active service, they go hand in hand. And I can see why they go hand in hand, because I can do things for myself. I don't mind cooking for myself. Majority of the time, I do like when someone cook for me now. But I can clean up. I can do all those things. But if you decide that you want to help me out, oh Lord, I love you for life. I just love you for life. So I can see why those 3 would go words of affirmation, physical touch, and active service will go hand in hand for me. I think those are my 3. My 4th one is quality time, and my 5th one is gifts. I love quality time and I love gifts because I love for somebody to want to be around me. But I don't think I require for you to be around me 24 or 20 or 18/7. Like, not that many hours. I mean, I don't mind it. If you would love to be around me, okay, cool. I guess you can stay around me for this long. However, it's not like a requirement of me. And then gifts. I love gifts to know that it's the thought that counts, which basically is like similar to words of affirmation. If you want to get me a gift, it's because I asked you to get me the gift, which basically, I mean, you can still go out and pick something out, but it's because you listen to the words that I say. All right, moving on. Let's see, what time is it? Because I got to go back to work. I filmed these on my free time. So I got 15 minutes. I actually should be wrapping this up. Okay.
Got an invitation to take you out, and even if you say no, I'll take you out. I just wanna wake up and check you out. morning.